chaos in Harrisburg as state lawmakers look to pass some major legislation before the holiday season. Here to discuss is State Senator Mike Regan of York and Cumberland counties. Always appreciate you coming in. Thank you so much.
Great to see you.
Happy
Halloween.
Happy Halloween, and that's kind of where I want to start because we have so many serious conversations. We rarely get a chance to have fun in this type of platform. I wanted you to go back to when you were a kid and your favorite Halloween memory, your favorite costume.
Boy. Now, I don't know, when you say go back to when when Reagan was elected in 1980, I was, I think, a junior in high school, and I had a great Ronald Reagan mask that I wore a blue suit.
Regan was Reagan. Of course you were. Of course you were. Of course. That's, you know what, I will say, just for the sake of being out there and open, honest, transparent, senior year of high school, I was the Stay Puffed Marshmallow Man. It fit the bill.
That was the movie.
Yeah, it was the Ghostbusters. And it fit the build. So I want to give you a chance to talk about PEYTON'S law, which was just run through the state Senate, and it's going into the House now, would help increase heart screenings for student athletes. This was really important to you.
Yeah, I mean, my goodness, father of four. You know, I see Julie Walker and the Walker family lose a beautiful, young, upwardly mobile, smart, vivacious young lady, dies suddenly, sudden cardiac arrest. They went to work, Peyton Walker Foundation, and came to us when they heard that a bill passed through the Texas legislature that had taken 8 years to get done, but basically did the same things we tried to do, which just inform parents. Just inform parents. A EKG can save your kid's life. So that's going to go out to parents when when kids are getting their sports physicals, and that was the goal of this legislation, and we got it done.
I know nothing's guaranteed in Harrisburg, but this unanimously passed the Senate.
Yeah.
You expect this to overwhelmingly pass the House and the governor to sign it?
Boy, I certainly hope it's going to get through the House quickly. We want to get it done before the session ends. So one of the first times I've ever seen, as a bill was passed, that the entire body stood up and turned around and faced Julie Walker, who was holding a picture of Peyton, beautiful Peyton,
wow. And
we gave her a standing ovation. It was really moving.
Well deserved too.
Yeah.
We've been able to talk to her many times, and she's an incredible woman, incredible family. Yeah. I want to move on to statute of limitations reform. There was a hearing that you were able to sit in part of at the start of October that talked about the bills, and we have them here on the screen. I want to know kind of where you are, because this is something that has been a major topic of discussion the last few years. Are you in favor of these bills, and kind of where do you stand since hearing a little bit of what you heard in that hearing?
Well, Matt, I think it's kind of mapped into my DNA. I'm a former U.S. Marshal, and we were in charge of the Adam Walsh Act. So, I mean, it's mapped into my DNA to want to protect victims. I'm just hoping that we can get a cohesive bill. That was one of the problems last time. I mean, the Attorney General was involved. He made recommendations. The bill that came over to us didn't fulfill all the recommendations of the Attorney General. There was constitutionality issues. It was a mess. It was a mess. So I'm hoping that we can get together on this and pass a bill that takes care of the victims of this crime, and not just the victims of the Catholic Church, but the victims of schools and Boy Scout troops and everybody who's a victim. There's not different levels of victims.
Have you heard from leadership at all in terms of when this might get brought up for a vote?
Have not heard. We just started talking about it a little bit. Haven't heard when it's going to. But I know that I have detected this from our leaders talking. There is a real spirit of cooperation. They're trying to get together with the makers of the bill to make sure we can get something smart that can pass.
When it comes to legalizing marijuana, you've said in the past that you're open to hearing kind of more about it. And given your background in law enforcement, how have your opinions changed on legalizing marijuana over the months, over the years, for that matter?
Well, I think the last time we talked about it, my fears are kind of the same. From a law enforcement perspective, I see the cartels, which are Murder Incorporated, becoming, increasingly wealthy on the marijuana trade. It'd be nice if we could capture some of that income for our state. But my district, which is interesting, we just polled it recently, is about split 50-50. So it's incumbent upon me to do the research on that topic and make sure that I'm making the decision.
And that's right around where the state is at as well, depending on what poll you look at.
Yeah.
So something that I guess to watch moving forward. You're still trying to learn more information. What do you still kind of want to know?
Well, I'm going to see what's happening in other states. I have concerns about how it impacts. If Jersey legalizes and if New York legalizes, what does that do to us? I can tell you one thing, though, one thing for sure, that I'm against decriminalization, because I think that just lets the cartels continue to flourish, and I'm against that.
Yesterday we saw, or earlier this week we saw a major press conference talking about hate crime legislation. Does Pennsylvania need stronger hate crime bills?
I mean, I think we're pretty good on it. You know, look, again, you know, we want to protect people who are vulnerable. That's something I strongly believe, and I think I've lived my life that way. But, you know, sometimes I think we risk, you know, overstepping. But I think that, you know, when it comes to providing funding to synagogues and other places like that, grant funding, I think that's an important thing, and I think that's one of the things we move forward on. One
of the areas where the people in the House, Democrats in the House who brought this up, said they know they're going to get pushback when it comes to LGBTQ protection. Why is it that there's so much pushback on LGBTQ protection?
I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not really sure what, you know, the state's very diverse, differing opinions. That's one of the things that makes it difficult to get bills passed in this legislature, is because we have, you know, as James Carville said, we have Pittsburgh, Philly, and Alabama in the middle. It's a different landscape, so let's have to see how it goes.
State Senator Mike Regan, thank you so much for joining us this week
thank
on the Fox 43
for
Capitol
having me.
Beat.
Always great to see you.
Fox 43 Morning News. We'll be right back.